You are not here by accident. You clicked because something inside you whispered, there must be another way to deal with the coworker who undermines you, the partner who twists your words, the stranger who insults you in public, the system that tries to break you. You're tired of shouting into the void, tired of escalating, tired of giving away your energy to people who don't deserve it. Good. Because today, we reclaim your power. Not with fury, not even with words, but with silence of surrender. Not the silence of surrender, not the silence of strategy, the silence of Stoics, the silence of Stoicism. Let me tell you about Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, commander of legions, ruler of a quarter of the known world. And yet, when his closest general betrayed him, when senators plotted behind his back, when the mob screamed for blood, he did not rage, he did not threaten, he did not beg. He wrote, in his private journal now known as Meditations, he whispered to himself, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Think about that. The most powerful man in the world choosing not to fight back. Why? Because he understood a truth modern society has forgotten. Reaction is concession. Silence is sovereignty. Every time you react, you hand over control. You say what you did matters. It affects me. I am at your mercy. But when you remain unmoved, you become unreadable, unpredictable, untouchable. Ancient Stoics called this apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from being ruled by passion. Seneca, exiled twice, poisoned at Nero's command, wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." He didn't curse his fate. He studied it, used it, became wiser because of it. Epictetus, born a slave, crippled by his master, later freed, taught it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Notice he didn't say respond, he said react. There's a canyon between the two. Reaction, emotional, immediate, often destructive. Response, chosen, delayed, strategic. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress emotion. It asks you to transmute it. Anger, observation. Fear, aversion, fear, analysis. Shame, aversion. Modern science confirms this. Neuroscience shows that when you're triggered, amygdala hijack, your prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, shuts down. You literally cannot think straight, which is why the person screaming in your face, they've already lost. They're running on lizard brain panic. You silence. That's prefrontal dominance. You're still in control. Harvard Business Review calls it executive composure, the unpredictor of leadership success under pressure. Navy SEALs train it relentlessly. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Smile? No. Worse. You do nothing, not out of weakness, out of calculation. Because silence does 5 things no weapon can. 1. Confuses your opponent. Humans expect escalation. Silence breaks the script. 2. Preserves your energy. No wasted breath, no drained emotion. 3. Forces them to reveal themselves. In the vacuum of your silence, they overplay their hand. 4. Builds your mystique. People begin to wonder what's going on in that mind. 5. Grants you time to observe, plan, counterstrike on your terms. Let me give you an example. Picture this, you're in a meeting. A colleague interrupts you again, twisting your idea into nonsense, then smirks. Old you? Leans forward, raises voice. Says, actually, that's not what I meant. New you. You pause, blink slowly, smile faintly, not at them, but inwardly as if remembering a private joke. Then you turn to the whiteboard, write one word, move on. That's it. No defense, no correction. No correction, no engagement. What happens? Your colleague looks foolish, talking to silence. The room notices the disrespect, and your restraint. You appear unshakable, in control, above the fray. 3 days later, boss pulls you aside. I admire how you handled that. Silence didn't lose the battle, it won the war. This is not passive, this is tactical stillness. Like a sniper holding breath before the shot, like a chess master letting the opponent overextend, like water, soft, yielding, wearing down stone over centuries. Lao Tzu, though not Stoic, echoed it perfectly. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Water doesn't argue with the rock. It flows around it, and eventually, the rock is gone. So chapter 1 ends with this. Stop fighting on their battlefield. Stop speaking their language. Stop giving them the reaction they crave. From now on, when provoked, breathe, observe, wait. Let them exhaust themselves against your stillness. Your silence isn't empty. It's full of strategy, full of power, full of stoic mastery. And we're just getting started. Welcome back. Now that you understand the power of silence, let's build your armor, not chainmail. Now that you understand, not titanium. 3 invisible shields forged in Stoic fire that deflect aggression without you uttering a syllable. These are your silent weapons. Learn them, wear them, live them. Shield Knight, the mar of neutrality. Visual, a polished obsidian mirror reflecting chaos but unchanged. The first shield doesn't push back, it reflects. Imagine someone hurls an insult at you. You're incompetent. Old response, no, I'm not. You're the incompetent one. New response, you tilt your head slightly, as if examining a curious insect. Raise one eyebrow, say nothing, just look. What happens? Their insult hangs in the air, unanswered, unvalidated, unchallenged, and because humans need feedback, positive or negative, to feel real, they panic, they double down. You didn't hear me. I said you're incompetent. Still, you say nothing. Now they're yelling at a statue. The room watches, their face flushes, they look unstable. You, calm, centered, untouched. This is the mirror of neutrality. You reflect their energy back without absorbing it, without judging it, without confirming or denying it. You become a black hole for drama. Psychologists call this gray rocking, used to disarm narcissists. You give no emotional payoff, no gasp, no flinch, no tear, just neutral observation, like a scientist watching bacteria multiply, detached, curious, unmoved. Try this experiment tomorrow. When someone tries to bait you, instead of reacting, ask yourself silently, what is this person afraid of right now? Not what do they mean, but what pain are they masking? Often, aggression is fear in costume. The coworker who steals credit, terrified of being irrelevant. The partner who nags, scared of abandonment. The internet troll, drowning in self-loathing. When you see the wound beneath the weapon, your anger dissolves. Compassion doesn't mean you accept abuse. It means you stop taking it personally. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. I can't be angry with my nature any more than I can be angry with theirs. He didn't excuse bad behavior. He anticipated it and armored himself with understanding. Shield 2224 Gazy visual, eyes that hold no judgment, deep, calm, endless. This is your most unnerving weapon, the void gaze, not a stare, not a glare. A gaze that holds nothing. No anger, no approval, no fear, just pure, quiet attention, like staring into a moonless night sky. People cannot handle this. Why? Because human interaction runs on emotional currency. We trade smiles for smiles, scowls for scowls, energy for energy. Break that contract and you destabilize them. Practice this when confronted. Soften your eyes, relax your jaw, breathe low into your belly, hold eye contact gently for 3 seconds longer than normal, then blink slowly, say nothing, watch them squirm. Their brain screams, why aren't you reacting? What are you thinking? Are you plotting? Do you pity me? Uncertainty is psychological torture, and you're just present. Navy interrogators use this. Sit across from a hostile subject. Say nothing. Just watch. 90% break within minutes. Not from threats, from the unbearable weight of silent observation. Real-world application. Your boss yells at you unfairly in front of the team. Old you defends, explains, pleads. New you stand straight. Hands relaxed at sides. Gaze steady, not challenging, not submissive. You let the yelling wash over you. When it stops, you nod once, say understood, walk away. No apology, no argument, just acknowledgement. What happens? My boss feels foolish for losing control. Team sees your professionalism. You retain dignity and plant seeds of doubt in their mind. Why didn't they fight back? Do they know something I don't? Power shifts silently. Shield 3, the delayed nod. Visual, a slow motion nod, deliberate, mysterious. Timing is everything. The delayed nod is your final shield and perhaps most potent. Here's how it works. Someone says something inflammatory. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. Full seconds, let the tension build. Let their adrenaline peak. Then you nod, slowly, as if to say, interesting. I see you. Not agreement, not disagreement, just recognition. This does 3 things. 1, disarms their expectation. They braced for war. You gave them a nod. 2, implies superior insight, as if you understand their motive better than they do. 3, buys you critical time. While they're confused, you're planning your next move. Historical example, when Alexander the Great conquered cities, he'd often sit silently before captured kings, let them beg, threaten, bargain. He'd just nod. Eventually they'd collapse into silence, psychologically defeated. Alexander rarely needed to raise his sword. His silence was sharper. Modern use, family dinner, uncle rants about politics, targets you, old you argues, ruins dessert. New you, pause. Let him finish. Nod slowly, as if filing this moment away for future reference. Say, thank you for sharing that perspective. Change subject. He's left swinging at air. You? Enjoying your pie. These three shields, neutrality, void gaze, delayed nod, form your silent armor. Practice them daily, in line at Starbucks, in Zoom meetings, in text arguments. Yes, even silence works digitally. Read receipts ON, no reply for 24 hours. Each time you deploy them, you rewire your brain. From reactive to strategic, from emotional to observational, from victim to victor without saying a word. Welcome, traveler. You've armored yourself. Now we build the trap, not a crude snare, a labyrinth, an elegant maze of silence, where your opponents wander until they defeat themselves. This is advanced Stoicism, psychological jiu-jitsu, where you don't overpower, you outmaneuver. Principal nature abhors a vacuum. Principal nature abhors a vacuum. So does the human ego. When you refuse to fill the space with defense, with anger, with explanation, the aggressor rushes in to fill it, and in rushing, they trip, they overcommit, they reveal too much. You create silence, they create noise, and noise is intelligence. Every rant, noise this intelligence. Every rant, my louse, intelligence. Every rant, every exaggeration, every desperate jab gives you data. Record it mentally, file it, use it later. Case study, Steve Jobs and Android. When Android launched, Google's clear iPhone clone, tech press expected Jobs to explode. Instead, silence. At the next Apple event, he showed a slide, Android sales 0, then moved on. No rant, no lawsuit threat yet. Google panicked, rushed updates, made mistakes. Apple watched, waited, filed patents. Years later, 1 billion lawsuit. Jobs didn't fight in the moment. He let Google hang itself, then cut the rope. Apply this. Colleague takes credit for your work in a presentation. Old you interrupt. Embarrass them publicly. New you? Silent smile. Take notes. After meeting, email boss. Great discussion. For deeper context on slide 7, here's the original research doc I compiled last week. Attach. No accusation, just helpfulness. Boss connects the dots. Colleague looks like a thief. You? Like a professional. Principle 2, the echo chamber trap. This is diabolical. You don't argue. You agree. Strategically. Example, boss says, you're falling behind on deadlines. Old you, no I'm not. Here's why. New you, nod. Say, you're right. Deadlines are slipping. Pause. Let that sink in. They expect denial. You gave them agreement. Now they're off balance. Then add, I'd love your advice on prioritization. What should I deprioritize to hit these? Boom. You flipped the script. Now they're responsible for solving the problem, and if they can't, they look incompetent. If they try, you gain leverage. Either way, you win. This is Stoic alchemy, turning attack into opportunity. Another example, partner says, you never listened to me. Old you, yes I do. Remember last Tuesday when I knew you? Soft sigh. Look down, then up. I hear you. I want to do better. Tell me, what does listening look like to you? Now they have to define the standard. And you're the eager student. Later when they complain again, you say, per our conversation I did X, Y, Z, to do. Did I miss something? They either admit progress or reveal they're impossible to please. Either way, you're documented, calm, in control. Principle 3, the invisible wall. Some people are energy vampires. They drain you with complaints, drama. Negativity. Stoic solution, the invisible wall. You don't block them. You become permeable. Let their words pass through you, like wind through trees. Technique when they vent. Maintain eye contact. Nod occasionally, but internally, repeat silently, this is not my circus. These are not my monkeys. Or, my favorite Stoic mantra, this too shall pass and I shall remain. Physically, relax shoulders. Breathe deeply. Imagine their words hitting a force field, then dissolving into mist. They talk for 10 minutes. You say, that's tough. Change subject. They'll eventually stop, because draining you became unrewarding. Real story, a CEO had a chronic complainer on his team. Every meeting, 20 minutes of doom. CEO tried logic, empathy. Ultimatums, nothing worked. Then Stoicism. Next meeting, complainer starts, the market is collapsing, clients are leaving, we're doomed. CEO leans back, smiles faintly, says, fascinating silence. Complainer blinks. Thanks, CEO. Tell me more about the client exodus. Which ones? When? When? What did they say? Complainer stammers he had no data. Meeting ends. Per our chat, please compile exit interview notes from departed clients by Friday. Complainer never complained again. Why? He was forced to substantiate and couldn't. The invisible wall exposed his emptiness. PRR attained and retreat. Sometimes the best move is to disappear. Not physically, psychologically. Withdraw attention. Like a general abandoning a city, letting the enemy occupy empty streets. They think they've won until they realize there's no one left to rule. Tactic. When attacked, don't defend. Don't vanish entirely. Just reduce presence. Fewer replies. Shorter emails. Less eye contact. Absent from optional gatherings, they'll notice, they'll wonder, did I go too far? Are they plotting? Have they given up? Uncertainty breeds anxiety. While they spiral, you regroup, gather allies, build evidence, plan countermove, then return stronger. Phantom retreat isn't surrender, it's reconnaissance. Historical precedent, Cato the Younger, Stoic senator, opposed Julius Caesar relentlessly. When Caesar offered him power, Cato refused. When Caesar threatened, Cato said nothing. When Caesar threw a feast to win favor, Cato stayed home, reading Plato. Caesar grew paranoid. What is Cato plotting? Nothing. That was the point. Cato's silence made Caesar insecure, leading to overreach and eventual downfall. Modern application, toxic friend constantly guilt trips you. Old you explain. Apologize. Cancel plans to appease. New you? Reply to text slower. Skip 2 hangouts. When together, polite but distant. They'll either A, reflect and adjust, rare, B, escalate and expose toxicity, likely C, fade away, ideal either way you win. You preserved energy, maintained boundaries, let them choose their fate. This chapter's lesson, don't wrestle in the mud. Build a labyrinth above it, and let them get lost in their own noise. Silence isn't passive, it's architectural. You design the psychological terrain, they stumble through it. And you watch from the tower, calm, fed, rested, ready to descend when the time is right. Time is your greatest ally. Most people fight on impulse, slaves to immediacy. Stoics, author is an idiot, old impulse, fire back, demand removal. Tag publisher, new approach, screenshot, file away, wait 72 hours, what happened? Reviewer posted 12 more 1-star rants on random books, clearly a troll. Writer then replied publicly, appreciate the feedback. For readers seeking depth, chapters 4 and 7 address your concerns thoroughly. Classy, helpful, unbothered. Reviewer's credibility, destroyed. Writers, enhanced. 72 hours turned poison into medicine. Apply this to angry emails, draft, sleep, edit. Send or delete. Relationship fight, sports talk, tomorrow after walk. Social media drama, log off, return in 3 days. Often irrelevant. Seneca wrote, time discovers truth. Give it space to work. Lesson 2, the deliberate pause, not days, seconds, the micro-pause. Before replying, inhale deeply. Exhale slowly, count silently, 1, 2, 3, 3, then respond. This tiny gap prevents amygdala hijack, signals control, forces opponent to sit in discomfort. Try it next argument. They yell, you never help around the house. Old you, yes I do. Last Tuesday I knew you. Pause, breathe, look them in the eye. Say calmly, help me understand what help looks like to you this week. Their rage hits a pillow. They deflate. Conversation shifts from blames, ablutions, magic, Navy SEAL technique, box breathing under fire. Inhale 4 seconds, hold 4 time, exhale 4, hold 4 time, exhale 4, health 4. Repeat. Heart rate drops. Vision clears. Do this before replying to any provocation. You become the calm in the storm. Ellison 3, to a long game architect. Stoics think in decades, not days. Marcus Aurelius ruled 19 years, facing plague, war, betrayal. His journal, filled with reminders like, adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast. He didn't fix everything. He endured, built systems, outlasted enemies. You must do the same. Ask, will this matter in 5 years? If no, to prioritize, who will still be in my life in 10 years? Invest there. What legacy am I building? Not today, but decade from now. Align actions accordingly. Case study, Nelson Mandela imprisoned 27 years, beaten, isolated, humiliated. Did he rage? Plot revenge? No, he studied his jailers, learned Afrikaans, read law, trained body and mind. When released, he invited his guards to his presidential inauguration. Silence had forged him, patience had empowered him, timing had crowned him. Your long game, career saboteur? Build skills. Exit gracefully with promotion. Toxic family? Set boundaries. Visit less. Protect peace. Financial stress? Cut noise. Invest monthly. Let compound interest fight for you. Stoicism isn't about winning battles. It's about winning eras. Lesson 4, to seasonal strategy, nature doesn't force spring and winter. Neither should you. Stoics align with seasons, winter, withdraw. Study, heal, plan. Spring, plant seeds, test ideas, build quietly. Summer, execute. Shine, harvest. Fall, release. Prune, prepare. Forcing action in wrong season, burnout. Example, want to confront toxic boss? Winter, they're stressed, company in chaos. Bad idea. Spring, new quarter, budget set. Perfect. Timing isn't luck, it's cultivated. Personal story, I once had a rival at work, stole ideas, gossiped, blocked promotions. I wanted to quit, confront, explode. Instead, Stoic winter, I stopped competing, started learning Python at night, volunteered for cross-department projects away from her. 1 year later, company restructured. My new skills landed me a remote role, higher pay, no contact with her. She, laid off, too specialized, no adaptability. I never fought her. I outseasoned her. Final wisdom from Epictetus. No man is free who is not master of himself. Master your timing and you master your destiny, not by rushing, by ruppening. You are now dangerous, not because you shout, because you smile, while orchestrating checkmate. This chapter, we master the art of the Stoic mask. Outward calm, inward calculation. Technique 1, the Syrian smile, not a grin, not a smirk. A slight upturn of lips, eyes calm. Deploy when insulted, undermined, surprised. Why it works. Smiling triggers mirror neurons, others subconsciously relax. But paired with silence, it's unnerving. They expect anger. You give amusement, as if their attack is quaint, predictable. Psychological effect, they question their power. Practice, stand before mirror. Recall most infuriating memory. Now, smile gently, not forced. Not fake, as if remembering a fond secret. Hold 10 seconds. Feel the shift, that's your mask. Wear it in battle. Technique to the notebook, distraction, always carry a small notebook. When attacked, open it, write, not frantically. Leisurely, as if their tirade is mildly interesting data. What you write doesn't matter. Buy milk, call mom. Sunset 7003 p.m. The access. This is not urgent enough to stop my thoughts. Powerful. Historical precedent, Diogenes, radical Stoic, lived in a barrel. Alexander the Great visited, ask anything of me. Diogenes, writing in dirt, step aside. You block my sun, Alexander laughed. If I weren't Alexander, I'd wish to be Diogenes. Why? Diogenes wore no mask, yet projected total indifference. Your notebook is your modern barrel. Technique, the body language, blanket control your physical tells. Hands never clenched. Rest lightly on table or lap. Shoulders relaxed, not slumped, not tense. Feet flat on floor, grounded, immovable. Breathing slow, abdominal, visible calm. This broadcasts I'm unshakable. Even if heart races, body lies beautifully. Seal tip, tactical breathing, neutral posture, instant authority. Practice daily, in traffic, in queues, in boring meetings. Make calm your default. Then, when crisis hits, it's automatic. Withdrawal, ectocrawled, withdrawal. Sometimes exit gracefully, not fleeing. Stratigraph positioning. Phrase to use. I need to reflect on this. Let's continue. Specific time. Then leave. Why powerful? Assumes authority. I decide when we talk. Implies depth. I require thought, unlike your impulsivity. Buys time to plan. Real application. Client screams. Your design sucks. Redo it. Old you, panic, apologize. Work all night. New you? Nod slowly. Say, I appreciate your passion. Let me digest this. I'll send revised concepts by Thursday EOD. Walk away. What happens? Client impressed by professionalism. You avoid rushed emotional work. Thursday, you send Oni brilliant option. Confident, priced higher. Silence created space. Space created power. Remember, the mask isn't deception, it's discipline. You feel anger? Good. Channel it into strategy. Feel fear? Excellent. Use it to sharpen focus. The Stoic mask isn't hiding your truth. It's protecting your mission. You've waited, observed, planned. Now, when to strike, rarely, precisely, silently. Rule 1, only when you hold all cards, never counterstrike from emotion, only when you have evidence. Allies are aligned, timing favors you, exit strategy exists, otherwise, wait. Rule 2, make them do it to themselves, best counterstrikes are self-inflicted. Example, saboteur spreads rumor you're quitting, hold you, deny publicly. Example, confront. Knew you? Start arriving late, leave early, decline new projects, yawn in meetings, rumor becomes true, boss panics, are you leaving? You? No, but workload is unsustainable. Can we discuss priorities? Now, you initiate restructuring, get help, reduce stress. Saboteur? Looks like a prophet, but you engineered the proof. Rule 3, the document drops silent. Devastating. Compile evidence, emails, screenshots, witness notes. When ready, deliver in person. Place folder on desk. Say, thought you should see this. Walk out. No speech. No accusation. Let paper speak. Historical. Cicero vs. Catiline. Catiline plotted coup. Cicero gathered evidence. Senate speech? No. He distributed documents. Catiline fled, exposed without Cicero saying guilty. Are you all for the promotion? Exit counterstrike by leaving upward. Quietly apply elsewhere. Get offer. Resign gracefully. Week later, industry hears why. Your silence becomes legend. Their reputation, ashes. Final rule strikes so cleanly they never see you move. You are seated now, not by title, by temperament, the shouting fool's bow, not from fear, from awe. You mastered the art. Don't fight back. Outsmart. Control, without saying a word. Enemies? Exhausted themselves against your calm. Allies? Drawn to your stability. Opportunities? Flow to you, because you radiate safety. This is Stoic sovereignty. Wear it lightly, defend it fiercely, and when the next storm comes, smile, breathe, let them rage. You are the mountain, unmoved, eternal, victorious.